Our schedule for this afternoon includes Dr. Orly Tate, Pastor Wiley Drake, and Pastor James David Manning, who will continue on the theme of looking at the natural-born citizen issue, the issue of eligibility as it relates to the Constitution. The framework through which we understand eligibility is through that which the founding fathers, have framed for us within the Constitution. We're here because we care about the Constitution, and we still think it's relevant today. I've said to my congregation back in 2008, I said the only thing that stands between one world government is the Constitution. If they can ever marginalize and negate the principles of the Constitution, and listen, that document reinforces individual liberty. And if it ever goes away, we're in trouble. And the truth of the matter is, there seems to be an attempt on the part of the executive branch, the Congress, and the judiciary to do just that. And to the extent that we remain silent and do not respond as we should to the threat against those liberties, is to the extent that we will be walking around here one day without them. So we need to be engaged. We need to have a sense of urgency about the task that is before us. And may I add this? I think it was Samuel Adams says it doesn't take a majority to win, but rather a irate minority, keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. I think he was right. It took a handful of men to do that. But our enemy said the same thing, but said it a little differently. I think it was Vladimir Lenin says, an organized minority will defeat a disorganized majority every time. Amen. And isn't that the case that's happening today? Where 3% of the population of America has changed the social fabric of our nation, have dumped our morality into the pit, and have embraced perversion for our nation. Only 3% of the population are homosexuals or confess homosexuals. 3%. And they are governing the day. Everybody's capitulating to that 3%. Something's wrong, especially when the Bible says, greater is he that is in us than he that is in the world. That we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us. If anybody got power, it's the church. Where's the power? Where's the power? I'm in my pulpit. I might just preach, Dr. Manning. No. No. I won't do that. Look, we have a special message that has come to us by way of Lieutenant Colonel Larkin, Terry Lakin, Terry Lakin. So if you could start the audio, and we'll put his image up on the screen.
Thank you all for attending this conference, and a very special thanks to that crazy, smart Texan guy, Rudy Davis. Rudy, thanks for organizing this. Make sure that you all thank all the other great organizers and great voices in this most important issue. I'm sure Mickey Booth, Charles Kirshner, Pam Barnett, Orly Tates, the Reverend Manning, Tim Ballantyne, Jerome Corsi, Joe Farah, and one of my favorite media guys, Peter Boyles in Denver, and so many others, if not there in person, have contributed to or will be reporting on this. Please extend my thanks to all of them and the many others not named for keeping the issue of constitutional eligibility in the forefront. We all know that there are so many issues right now that warrant the nation's full attention, like the economy, job growth, and containment of a ballooning government. There are no quick solutions to all of them, but up at the forefront has to be the maintenance of our Constitution, the framework of our country, the framework that can have changes made through amendments only, not a Constitution that can be changed at the will of one person, the will of our congressional representatives, if they represent us anymore, our justices, or anyone else except for amendments approved by the states. What you all are doing is so important to maintain the integrity of our Constitution and make sure that it is not changed by one person or one group of people that think they are above the law. What you all are doing is so very important for our country. We all want our country to maintain its freedom, prosperity, goodwill, and its freedom to practice your religion as you choose within the confines of our Judeo-Christian values and morals inherent in and deliberately designed in the Constitution. It seems like we are so close to losing these, but you all are the leaders that challenge the truth to be known about the conspiracies of eligibility, Fast and Furious, voter fraud, Justia Gate, Climate Gate, and so many other conspiracies that are not conspiracy theories anymore. Those issues that are being belittled, ignored, or downright hidden by our so-called representatives and the media instead of a rational dialogue based on fact and demanding action on those. You are not letting them get away with hiding them. You are doing great things to stay out there and keep this in the public and political forefront. Forget about this political correctness of not talking about things. Not talking about things and complacency is what helped us get into this mess, along with trusting our elected leaders, our judicial branch, and our executive branch. Please consider doing more. Make it a point to tap 10 friends on the shoulder every day and tell them about the many things that are going on that they need to be made aware of. Make sure that they go out and tap 10 friends on the shoulder every day also. Don't let them choose to stick their head in the sand and ignore the issues. Our country is in peril. They need to find out the answers if they don't believe you. There's not going to be another time in our future to do this, and it will not take care of itself without doing something. Steer them to the right websites, steer them to the right sources, steer them to the right media that will open their eyes instead of the complicit mainstream media. To close, give yourselves all a big hug. Hug your family and friends as you pray. Go out and hug and pray for our wonderful military members and their families for what they're doing and their many sacrifices. So let them know that there are questions about their commander-in-chief that need to be answered. Tell them to demand answers from their generals and admirals and legislators. God bless you all and what you're doing to get the truth out. Remember, the truth matters, the Constitution matters.
Amen. Terry Lakin was so convinced that the Constitution needed to be adhered to that he sacrificed his career in the military and refused to take an order from the commander-in-chief until he proved his eligibility. He was locked up. For how long?
6 months.
6 months, and he lost his career in the military. He believed that it's going to take something like our lives, our fortune, and our sacred honor